Can you imagine if you had, a favorite band, you listen to them all the time, and then one day you get a phone call and the band is like, we need your help. That happened to our next guest, Scott Dasson, who is a creator of Badbird Bridge. It's tough to say sometimes, but it's come in very handy for some very talented people. Let's more than the band we're about to say, because a lot of people have been using this, but the band Rush called you up.
It was a thrill, absolutely. I got an email from their guitar tech, and he asked about it. He seemed a little dubious about the whole thing, so I sent them one, and they loved it. So they ordered a bunch more, and they said, "Bring more to Buffalo." So they invited me out for the show, and I got to spend about 3 or 4 hours backstage hanging out with John McIntosh, Scully as they call him, Geddy's guitar tech. And I did have a brief conversation with Geddy, and he's very nice and pleasant and polite. But he's working, so I didn't want to bother him too much.
So this is a device that does what? Can you explain and show it to people?
Right?
Yes, I think I can. It's a bridge that fits on vintage Gibson Thunderbirds, which they only made 1,200 of these. So
okay, so that in and of itself is pretty awesome. Right there.
If I had a fix for a fender, I'd be rich. But anyhow, the original bridge had very limited travel for the saddles, and the saddles are the little things here where you can make the string go sharp or flat.
Okay.
If you can't set the intonation, you can't play in tune on the upper register. And once, the 60s hit with McCartney and John Entwistle from The Who, and then Geddy Lee later, people were making use of the upper register. But the bass is useless if you can't play in tune.
So it's a different sound. This helps make a different sound.
It makes the bass play in tune.
Okay. And then so these guys heard about this device.
I'm not sure how they did.
Yeah, I was going to ask how, you got an email, but...
I have two suspects, either Andy Babuke from the Chesterfield Kings.
Who we know very well. He's come to this show many times.
Yep, he's a good friend of mine, or Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick, who's a big customer of mine as well.
Somebody said something.
Somebody spilled the beans.
Yeah, which is fine, because you're loving the attention.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And again, this was an idea born at your home in Irondequoit, right?
Yeah, I came up with this in 1983. I've been playing Thunderbird since '76, and this one soldiered on my personal basses for years in anonymity, and then entered the internet, and people are seeing pictures of my basses on bass forums, and like, what is that, and where can I get one? So in about 2006, I started manufacturing them, and it's been a successful little thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, does having one of your favorite bands use your device and buy several of them kind of blow it up now to the wide world, to the whole wide world?
Well, it's a limited market, but it's just a thrill. It doesn't matter if it, makes me piles of money or not. It's just, it solves a problem with a really cool vintage bass, and how cool is it to have one of your idols, actually using it and having it on tour.
Yeah, so you're still using this thing on tour?
Oh, yeah. There it is right there.
Were you in the crowd being like, I helped make that?
I was a little more sedate.
Come on,
nobody could have heard me.
But you have to admit, though, you were sort of freaking out, though, a little bit, right? Like, just a little bit.
Like I am now. Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
But I was asking you, are you a person who does this stuff? You're saying you studied industrial design. This is sort of how your mind operates, right?
Yeah, even as a young kid, middle school. Tim Hennessy, thank you very much for teaching me everything I know. I've, designed and drawn and, manufactured things and made things. I build my own bass guitars. I'm always working. I do antique restoration.
So you're the guy. You know that stuff. You know how to do this stuff.
I guess.
You're like, you're like, well, I kind of do.
Well, it's like you do what you do. It's like natural.
Yeah, but I have not. No one from U2 has called me up to say, "Can you help us with?"
Well, me either.
Bono's career. No, they've not said anything. But this is awesome. So where can people get this? If there's someone out there going, "Hey, I want that."
Look me up on Facebook, Scott Dasson, or search Badbird Bridge on Facebook, and that's pretty much how I do business. Or people in the bass forums know me. So God of Thunder 59, that's me.
Well, God of Thunder 59, we say congrats.
We bow to you, God of Thunder.
Oh, no, that's not necessary. Throw money, though. I appreciate that.
Okay, seriously, you are hilarious.
Yes.
And you have been such a joy to interview.
Thank you. I've had a pleasure. It's been great.
What a fun story. Thanks for sharing it with us. We appreciate it.
See you, everybody. See you at work.
So cool.
Day job.
So cool. You have that, too, right? You got to go to that, too. Very, very cool. Thanks, Scott.